morning, everyone.
Yeah, so welcome to our cutting edge webinar series, How to Fill Any Event. I'm Judy Goss. A lot of you know me from the AWE show Behind the Gates. I'm the host there, and I'm also a radio show host of What Women Want. But this morning, we are here because I'm also an entrepreneur of a company called What Women Want Networking. And we've been in business for almost 8 years now. And let me tell you, if there's something we know at What Women Want, it's how to fill a room. Okay, very important part of our business. And I'm also here with Cathryn Marshall. She's our What Women Want National Director, yes. She is an entrepreneur. She's the founder of Simple Fat Burn. And let me tell you, almost like no other does Cathryn know how to fill an event, online and off. I'm very impressed in all my years of networking. So I'm so excited to have you here, Cathryn, today.
And I am so excited to be here. I'm excited to share the inside story on how to fill your room. And we're going to share some tips, some strategies, and just cut right to the chase and give you some awesome information today that will be incredibly valuable.
And for those of you that are on the Zoom call, please feel free to message in. I see good morning. Oh, we coordinated well. Thank you, Jane. Yes, we did color match, color coded.
Yeah, we planned these colors. I'm
exactly.
like, what are you wearing?
That's right, for sure. We plan our outfits and like we plan our events and our meetings and our online seminars and webinars. And it's so important. Cathryn, can you tell everyone how important it is to be in business these days and not lose that personal touch, but build on it and nourish it and cultivate it?
You really have to pay attention to every little detail. And if something doesn't go quite right, we make it right. We communicate. So it's important to pick up the phone, answer the text message, but really
pick up the phone.
Yeah, what is that these days?
Yeah.
But yes, pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
But we really want to put forth the right intentions. And I'm really big on sending love ahead of the event. And we just, our heart is in it. We care. We truly care. And it's authentic. We really want the events to go well, and we really want everyone to get what they need out of the events, and we've got to over-deliver. That's the bottom line.
That's for sure. So now we set our intentions. I know that's probably one of the first things you do, but I know your first tip is to start early. So what exactly do you do to start early?
Well, on an event the size of, let's say we're planning an event that's around 30 to 50 people. That's the average size of our networking events. You really need to start 6 weeks ahead in terms of getting your information together, making sure you've got your flyer, your speaker, your topic. But 6 weeks, all of that information needs to be ready to roll. The biggest mistake people make with hosting events is they're just not ready early enough.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a long time. So when people start asking you about it, and you always tell me conversations lead to sales, right?
So true.
And
so true.
I feel like conversations also lead to people showing up at your events. Now, how do conversations lead in an online arena? How do conversations lead to people attending events?
Sure. I think you're having an online conversation just as well as you're having an in-person conversation or an offline conversation. Mm-hmm. You've got to build the value.
Like we're having now.
Like we're having now.
Don't you guys feel touched and personalized out there? Don't you feel wanted and needed?
Yeah.
You are, honestly.
But here's the thing. You've got to give them the what's in it for me. If I'm talking to someone saying, hey, you really want to come to this event, I'm going to make a personal introduction for you. I'm going to help you build your network. We're going to have an awesome speaker. Mm-hmm. You're going to love the topic. And let's face it, people are your connection. So if you're building a business, you've got to meet more people.
That's for sure. So what I'm understanding is basically you're talking to people about the event, but you're also talking about the why you're having it.
Right, and why they should attend it. Why should they come and spend their time, money, resources, get the sitter, get dressed up, get across town? Why should they put all of that energy into it?
Or even an online event. People schedule space in their day to listen to these events like Absolutely. We're doing right now, right?
Absolutely.
And, you know, when they put all that effort into it, they want to know why they should be there.
Exactly. And time has become our most precious resource.
That's for sure.
I know.
Yeah, just getting ready for this one. It took a lot of time, but it's good. It's all good. We want people to know. So number 2, set your intention. What does that mean? You talked a little bit about that in the beginning.
Yeah, I think, you know, it kind of brings me back to the very first event I did. I was in my early 20s and we were hosting an anniversary event at the gym. And they said, we're going to get 80 people here. And I thought, oh gosh, how are we going to do that? So I set the intention to make it like a party, make it fun. So you set the intention, you set the tone before you host the event. In your planning phase, you want to make it fun. You might want to have a theme. I'm really big on having a theme for each event. And then you've really got to keep the energy up. You want people to come and have a good time. You want them to meet some new friends. You want them to make valuable connections. So if you're setting those intentions, this leads into getting the right people in the room.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that you have an online event. So by the way, everyone that's watching and listening out there, I see a few of you are online. You know, one of the best ways to market your company these days is video and webinars and Zoom calls and things like that.
Absolutely.
And you have to make them interesting.
Yeah.
So what can people do when they have an online event to make it fun and interesting?
Absolutely. I think you've got to come up with a reason and a title for that topic, for that event. Give it a name. It's not just a networking event, but like we just had one and I call it the Diamond Networking Event. And you might spread some little diamonds across the table. You know, last year at the diamond event, I had a cake and it had diamonds on the cake. So again, you just put a little bit of care into it. It's like tending a garden. You want to make it pretty. You want to have a few decorations. You want to really show that you care.
What about interaction? I mean, I feel like that's the way to go these days.
Well,
right?
and you're really talking about marketing your event. You know, go Facebook Live. Talk about your event. When I first started hosting the events, I started doing Facebook Live. So I would go to...
So do the Facebook Live to host a Facebook Live event.
Right? Sure. I mean, either a live event or an online event. You can do a Facebook Live to promote your event. I would go before Valentine's Day and I would be in the store getting the Valentine's decorations. You can see all the red behind me. I'm like, I'm excited about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, the hearts, the red. It's the Valentine's event. And you know what? People leaned in and then they clicked on the link and then they would show up. But we've got to teach them what's going on. We've got to open that window. We need great visuals.
Speaking of great visuals, I just want to tell everyone where we are today. We're at Blonde & Co. Studios here in New York City, 27 West 34th Street. And they have been bending over backwards to provide this beautiful studio.
It's gorgeous.
Furniture, the lighting, it is so gorgeous. This is not just a studio, but it's an event space also. We've had some incredible events here. So I just wanted to, you know, kind of push that out there, give a little plug to Blonde & Co. Because that's really where we're doing this. And the visual is so important.
It really is.
Having the right lighting and having the right framing. It took a little bit of work to get this together this morning. You know, usually I do it from my desk at home or whatever, and I have everything set up. But when you go out and you get a different scenario, then you really have to pay attention to what's what.
And you know, your guests can really tell when you care. You've really put the time and attention into this event, and it comes through.
Right. And it's so exciting having you here from Atlanta and broadcasting this from New York City. That's very
exciting. And such a warm welcome.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about building value and getting commitments. Now, getting commitments is one thing, but getting them to show up is another.
True. So when you're building value for your event, you might say something like, hey, we need a head count. Are you coming? You might say something like, hey, we're doing food. Hey, we're doing some little party favors or gifts. So we need a head count. You've got to be direct. So when I'm talking to someone saying, I would love for you to come to this event, then I might say, and you're going to be there, right? I'm putting you on the list. And then you've got to follow up. The key is really in the follow-up and letting people know that you care, that they're going to attend, but it takes communication and it takes a little bit of work. You've got to work your list. You've got to work the people that are on there. They're coming for the right reasons. And again, it's like a direct connect.
Okay, so tell me what you mean by work your list. Because you've given me some really strategic things to do when I get on the phone or when I look at my list. That's, you know, my list could be 100 people. Where do I start? What do I do? What do I say? What's the first thing I do? Yeah.
So you have a list of people who you would, first of all, I start with the people you would like to have your event. So I know Jane Bishop is in here. So of course I would want Jane at our event. She's personable. She's fun. She's welcoming. So Jane might be on the list and I'm going to say, Jane, you're going to be here, right? And then I see she signed up. I might just say, hey, I'm just confirming you're going to be here. I'm so excited to have you at this next event. And she's like, yes, I'll be there. Bam, check her off.
So you're working your list right now.
I'm working.
And you're going to ask Jane, who can you think of to bring to this event?
I would ask Jane. I would say, hey, Jane, you know what? I've got an extra ticket. Who can you think of that would be a great fit for this event? And Jane, then it levels Jane up to invite a good friend of hers who would be a great fit for the event. someone who's going to value the event, someone who's going to be fun, someone who might be able to make some other introductions, or just someone who is really ready to attend this type of event.
And Jane is not only attending today's event, Jane Bishop from Take the Next Step, but she's commenting in on Zoom. So if you registered,
high five to Jane.
Yeah, high five to Jane. So if you registered in on Zoom, and we have, by the way, we keep looking up because we have Facebook Live and videos and all kinds of stuff going on here. It's so exciting. And Joni Poutzler is with us too, and she's taping us for social media. She's probably on Instagram right now, so that's exciting also. We're all over the place, right? So Jane is messaging in. She registered through Zoom. So the people that registered through Zoom can message live questions in, right? If anybody else has a question, please message to us. And she has a comment here. Consider switching from, quote, we need to we're looking for our we're requesting. So the personal touch is critical.
It is
Make
so
it feel
critical.
like they're coming to a party.
Yeah, and reach out to people personally. And like I said, you've got to make it fun. You've got to keep the vibe up. And this is really a light, fun thing. So I think we're just putting it out there and allowing the right people to show up. And then we're being very direct about getting that commitment that they'll be attending our event.
So you say it's a fun thing, and I wonder about that sometimes because we're building our businesses, and it really matters if people show up to our events, and sometimes it matters whether you're getting a paycheck or not, and we get all caught up in the seriousness of it.
We do.
How do you keep it fun like that?
I think you've got to, it starts back when you set your intention, and that you don't get in this mental state of this is hard work, because let's face it, we all have things we have to do, and we're in this state of busyness. But when we're doing the right things for the right reasons, and we know the event is going to go smooth, and here's the thing, when you get your systems down, you really get your systems down, the hard part goes away. Then you get your assistant to chime in and help, or you just know the people who came to the last event. Now we've got the ball rolling. They're going to come back and bring some friends.
Start texting the people instead of getting up on the phone and calling them and calling other people.
Exactly. And you want to reach out to people by email, by phone call, by text message, by Facebook Messenger.
And if you don't love what you do, don't even keep doing it. So that's a whole nother webinar topic. But to keep it fun, you really got to love what you do.
But when it gets rough, you've got to shift your mindset, and you've got to love your way through it when it gets tough. Absolutely. Sure. And really the first few events are the tough ones. Then you've got your systems down, you're growing your network online and offline. You've got people to pull from to invite who are familiar with how you do things.
That's right. And once you do it one or two times, the first few, then people actually start chiming in and helping with you when they see that you're committed and you're consistent to throwing events and holding online webinars and things like that. Now, Cleidra Gross. Hello, Cleidra.
Hi, Cleidra.
She has a question here. It's 6 weeks prior for an online event as well. So were we supposed to have 6 weeks for online and personal events?
I always allow 6 weeks.
At least 6 weeks.
At least 6 weeks. And, it depends on the size of your event. As we get into bigger events, obviously it might be 6 months if it's a really big event that you're planning.
Like our conference.
Like our conference. Absolutely. We start planning really a year ahead of time, and we're planning.
And we should plug the conference now because we have our second annual national conference. Speaking of events and filling rooms, oh my gosh, we're so excited! It's our second annual conference, and Cathryn's going to be speaking at it and presenting a breakout session. That's right,
breakout room. I'm going to be talking about how to get fit fast and make it last. Really, I'm going to be teaching how to get your workout in, how to eat clean, and run your business so that you can perform
without burning out.
Yeah, you've got to perform at the top level. You need the energy. So I'm going to be giving all my best strategies on how to really excel personally, professionally, and physically, mentally, emotionally. It's all about your fitness level.
And with Cathryn helping me with filling this room, it will be sold out. So you want to go get your ticket now, whatwomenwantconf.com, CONF.com. And we have a discount code for 20% off of all level tickets now. And it's Friend Special. Okay. And that's until at the end of this month, September 30th. So you do want to get those spots now. Our opening keynote is Amy Newmark. She's the CEO of Chicken Soup for the Soul. That's how we're kicking off Friday evening. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal with 3 days of professional and personal development and spending time with women like us. Honestly, like how can you get any better? It's in Atlanta, Georgia at the Hyatt Regency. And I want to get back to Cleidra because we didn't give her enough information quite on, how far in advance we should be marketing. For me, when I get the date of any event or anything that I'm doing, I start marketing it.
Yeah.
You know, the date and the title.
Talk
you don't even need the
people.
venue.
You're
TBA.
talking to people, you're posting about it,
That's
you're
right.
putting the energy out there. And what I do is I get that list right on my desk where I can see who's coming to the event, how many people are coming, and I'm working on it a little bit every day. I'm working with it on social media. So it just becomes an ongoing process so that we literally are working our way through filling that event from the time we open up the marketing all the way through the event. Do not give up early. This is something I learned from Monica Shaw. She's one of our sponsors, but Monica said, you go all the way through the event, and then it's amazing. Even last minute, some people will show up who weren't too sure if they could make it, but you've really been putting it out there for the right people to show up at your event.
Right, for the right reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep talking and talking about it. So, Cleandra, we answered your question. So who else is up here? Let's see. We have at least 6 months for in-person events, Kathleen McGee is saying. Due to booking space. That's true.
Yeah,
6 weeks for online. Yeah, I'd say at least I'd say at least 6 weeks for online.
And
Cleandra. Thank you, Cleandra. You two have amazing energy together. Well, you know what? That's why we're working together. And this is me talking about my events, brought her to our events, which took her to national director.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really exciting. Okay, so we started early. Okay. 6 weeks at least before online, 6 months sometimes for in-person conferences and larger events. Set your intention, keep that energy high, talk about it, and really, when you set your intention, actually tell someone that it's your intention. That makes it even stronger.
And set your intention about how many people you're going to have at your event, because then you got to really do the work with the marketing, but you want to be crystal clear. You know, I think a clear number is good. Like if you go, oh, I want to have 30 to 40 people, you know, be clear. I want to have 40 people at my event, and then work it and get 45, because you're going to have a couple of cancellations last minute, but you know, you're going to hit your number. And if you didn't hit your number, you have not done the work with the marketing.
My experience, about 30% of the people don't show up.
Oh, that's high. So I would say in my experience, it's more like 10%.
Well, see, you're that good. You do a lot of follow-up. And that's the difference between follow-up, right? Calling those people and say, are you coming or not, right?
And you cultivate your follow-up skills over time. You know, it's not something we're born with, but we get better at it. And it's something that it's like, again, like tending the garden.
Or maybe it's the New Yorkers that say they're coming and they don't show up.
We're both New Yorkers. Come on now.
That's true. Yeah. But you have your events in Atlanta so far.
So that's far.
But you have a lot of online events too, which is impressive.
We do.
Okay, so Cathryn, speaking from personal events and online experience, she's been doing this for a long time. She knows the process. She has it down. That's why I asked for you to come on with us today.
Yeah, and I will say too, when you're doing an online event, you want to go back through all of the attendees, the people that said they're interested, the people that said they're going, and you need to go back and message them, text them, call them on the back end within the 48-hour window before your event. Because again, you're confirming that they're going to show up. You might do an additional Facebook Live and start tagging some of those people, and then ask them to invite a friend. And that really is the magic. I mean, that's the magic. It's just, you know, you're kind of bringing people to the event for the right reasons. And you always want to think about, what is the purpose? What's the why behind it?
So we have another question here from Jane. That getting the systems down is key. Yes, it is, Jane. And you do well with that. Thank you. So what have you found is the best practice for balancing the number of touch points before an event versus too much? That's a great question.
Yeah.
I wonder that sometimes myself. And, you know, for me, it's like, until you get a no, don't call me back, you know, but it's true. People don't want to be bothered. But then again, I get people saying, your conference is 3 days this year, not 2 days, you know, and it's like, oh, I haven't messaged enough. I haven't emailed enough.
Well, I don't know that it's enough. I think we need a variety of ways to touch people. And then we've got to listen to those questions and become crystal clear about communication. So, you know, maybe we haven't said enough times, hey, the conference is 3 days. It's 3 days of content. So I think, you know, you're listening, you're looking for a response, and that's really, it's almost like doing a test market with your market, where you say, hey, what do you know about the conference? And then people, as they're getting the information, they'll pair it back to you. And that's all you know. And I think in terms of bullet points, okay, the conference is October 19th to 21st. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's 3 days of personal and professional development. We have phenomenal keynote speakers. Again, those are bullet points in my mind, and you've got to teach and train other people to carry the same message.
That's right. Good point. Yeah. I'm so glad you're saying all this because
Yeah.
it's just, again, reminding me, what I have to do. And I do this all the
Sure.
time. Sometimes I take it for granted.
Mhm.
So let me see if we have any more questions here. I think we're good. All right. So I have a question.
Sure.
You keep telling me to work my Facebook events.
Oh.
Okay. So
yes.
I didn't really get this till recently that
Okay.
in
It's a
Facebook,
big
when
deal.
you create an event, you actually can go in the event and post, not just post the
Mhm.
event different places, but you
Yeah.
go in the event and have a conversation and light things up from within.
Mhm. And here's why. Number one, people are predominantly in person or they're scrolling through that phone. So where are they? They're on social media.
Mhm.
They are on Facebook, trust me. So Facebook, LinkedIn, there are Twitter, those are our biggest resources for promoting our events. So we've got that Facebook event. We're going to invite people. We're going to share that event in different places. And then we're going to work within the event. Everyone who said they're interested in going, everyone who said they are going to the event. So we're going to post messages within that event consistently. And we can also do Facebook Live right within the event.
I just wonder how many of you all are actually creating events for things that you may not see as an event. So we have monthly networking events at all of our regional chapters for What Women Want. But we also post online events for our webinars. So creating an event just doesn't necessarily have to be in person.
Right,
I have an
right.
event every week for my radio show,
Mhm.
What Women Want.
Yes.
So you can go in there and invite people and speak to people. And that's what she's talking about, is really creating that and then going back and nurturing it and following up. And
Right.
this is, I feel like, a consistent theme throughout this whole thing is
It
follow
is.
up.
Yeah, and
right?
two, in terms of time frame, your Facebook event should go up 30 days before your event or maybe 3 weeks before your event. And then you're going to work that event. You're going to keep
Mhm.
doing those touch points. Now, I'm getting ready to host a free online webinar all about how to not regain the weight you lost. So this is a free webinar. So that Facebook event will go up. That's about 2 weeks before the event. Okay.
Mhm.
And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to tell people about the event. I'm going to email about the event, but I'm really going to be working that Facebook event along with Facebook Lives and pushing people towards that event to get the information. But it works like a charm. That's where they are.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. So start early, set your intention. It's in the list.
The list.
That's
She
what
keeps
she keeps
list.
telling me, the list.
Keep working your list.
And you know what? Not even a specific list, but people calling them up and texting them and saying,
Yeah.
who can you think of that I can call, or who can you
Mhm.
introduce me to? And that's really working your list, but not like a paper,
Yeah,
literally
no,
a paper
I actually
list.
do make a paper list.
No, I
believe
know
it or
you
not.
do.
Yeah,
But
so,
if people are thinking, oh my
right.
gosh, it's so tedious and this and that. Well, you know what? Just think of some people that you
it
know.
doesn't take that long.
Reach out.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you have to do the things that matter. I
Right.
think a lot of times we do things that just don't matter and we're expecting people to show up when we didn't get the confirmation. That's a really big deal. Get the
Mhm.
confirmation
Mhm.
and then follow up and say, yes, you'll be there, and give them a reason. Like, we're planning on so many people. We've got gifts, we've got food, whatever it is.
Mhm.
But, carry some weight there with that confirmation.
Sure.
I mean, and it's important that you keep your word as the person who's hosting the event, just like that person is giving you their word that they're going to show up.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
So if we have to end on the most important thing to take from this webinar today, besides coming to the conference and getting your ticket before we sell out, because this one's going to help me sell it right out. And
Absolutely.
we only have 15
15
VIP
VIPs
spots left.
Okay,
Yeah,
only 15
so those
VIP
are going
tickets left.
really fast.
But you can get a 20% discount off the VIP or the regular conference pass
Right,
with
which is a
friend-
great deal.
Friend Special.
Friend Special.
Just
What
type
Women
that in and
Want
you'll get
Conf,
that.
conf.com. Actually, we could type that in the messaging right here. As you're telling everyone, what is the one most important takeaway if they don't remember anything else from this call?
Yeah, the most important takeaway is to get crystal clear about what you want to create for your event and then work on it just a little bit every day. Get super consistent about working on your event and doing all of the right things we talked about. Don't get close to your event and start 3 weeks ahead of time and then get off of it for a week and then get back on. You've got to get consistent about doing a little bit of work every day. Get it right on your desk in front of you, the people that are coming, the people that said they might come, the people you want to get back to, and then just really, it's all about the way that you feel about this event. You've got to feel happy, you've got to feel excited, you've got to make it fun, but you have to have this positive aura around your event before it happens.
Yeah, so you can walk in there with a smile and confidence, and they say you can walk in and change an entire room.
Absolutely.
I did it
You
at
just
your
did
event,
that.
right?
Sure.
I was a keynote for her event last week in
Yeah.
Atlanta, and everyone basically, I don't even know how to say it. Like I got up there and basically brought everyone to a lower level vibration, and they were feeling, a little down about what I was saying. I was kind of, beating myself up, playing a role, seeing how they would react. And I realized, oh my gosh, like I'm affecting this entire room of, what was it, 50 people, whatever it was in that room. But in the same way, you can flip that and bring up
everybody
a room
up
at the same time, right? Because after that, I did do that. And my intention was to show that purpose.
Right.
I was doing it on purpose. So you really can do this.
And if something doesn't go right, let's say something goes wrong with the venue, or you have a guest who shows up and maybe he or she is upset about something that happened, who knows? You need to keep smiling.
Yeah.
You need to just stay cool, calm, collected.
Fake it till you make it, honey.
Yeah, you need to just genuinely know things are you're really setting the tone for that room, and you need to just keep rolling with it. We've all had things that happen when you host a lot of events like we do that you're like, oh my gosh.
Well, life happens.
Life happens.
Yeah.
But sometimes your speaker cancels right before the event, or, one time I had a woman walked in the door and somebody flipped her arm to hug someone and the glass went flying and the glass broke and she got cut. But you know what? It was actually one of the best events we ever had, and she was okay. And I really, showed her some love and time and care. So you really do everything you can to make it right. And if you have like one little chicken that's not doing well, you pet them and make it right.
Right. You love them. Show
you
them
love them.
Yes.
And then guess what? It will really be okay.
Yeah,
but you get really confident about that, and you don't let anything upset the apple cart.
Right, and that's what we're here for, is to teach you that balance and that clarity that you need to really hold on to and focus on to while you're holding events or really doing anything in life. And Cathryn McGee, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And everyone else, thank you so much for registering on the Zoom call, as well as being on Facebook Live and whatever Joni's doing over there on Instagram.
Yeah. If you're on Facebook Live, give us some hearts, some likes, some shares.
Share.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Oh, Beth Pound, thank you for joining us. And everyone else, we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in October at the conference.
We will see you. Absolutely. Yes.